Most people think they're productive, but the truth is they're just busy. Busy, distracted, and exhausted. This book teaches you how to actually focus and produce work that matters. Let me start with a question. When was the last time you worked with full focus? Without checking your phone, without switching tabs, without replying to messages, without getting distracted every few minutes? Be honest. For most of us, that kind of focus has become extremely rare. And that's exactly the problem this book, Deep Work by Cal Newport, talks about. This book doesn't just feel like a productivity book. It feels like a reality check about how distracted our lives have become and how much potential we are silently losing every single day. When I started reading Deep Work, I realized something uncomfortable. I thought I was working hard. I thought I was productive. But in reality, I was just busy. There is a big difference between being busy and actually doing meaningful work. We spend hours replying to messages, scrolling, switching tasks, checking notifications, and at the end of the day, we feel exhausted. But when we look back, we haven't produced anything truly valuable. This book puts a mirror in front of you and forces you to see the truth. Cal Newport introduces the concept of deep work, which basically means the ability to focus without distraction on cognitively demanding tasks. This is the kind of work where you are fully present, fully engaged, and fully concentrated. This is the state where you learn faster, think better, create better, and produce work that actually matters. And the scary part is this: most people are losing this ability without even realizing it. The author explains that we are living in the age of constant distraction. Social media, emails, notifications, multitasking, all of these things are training our brain to be shallow. We jump from one thing to another every few seconds. And over time, our brain literally forgets how to concentrate deeply. That's why even when we sit down to study or work, we feel restless. We feel the urge to check our phone. We feel bored quickly. We feel mentally tired very fast. This is not because we are lazy. It's because our attention has been damaged. One idea in the book that really stayed with me is that deep work is becoming rare, and that's exactly why it is becoming extremely valuable. Most people can't focus anymore, so if you develop this skill, you immediately stand out. Whether you are a student, content creator, freelancer, professional, or entrepreneur, your ability to focus deeply can become your biggest competitive advantage. Not talent, not luck, focus. The book also talks about something called shallow work. Shallow work is everything. That feels like work, but doesn't actually create much value. Replying to emails, attending unnecessary meetings, scrolling through social media in the name of research, organizing files endlessly, multitasking. These things keep you busy but don't move your life forward in a meaningful way. And the problem is our entire culture rewards shallow work. People who reply quickly look professional. People who are always online look productive. But in reality, they are often not creating anything meaningful. Cal Newport shares examples of extremely successful people who protect their focus fiercely. Writers who disconnect from the internet while writing. CEOs who block time for thinking. Scientists who work in isolation to produce breakthrough ideas. These people are not superhuman. They simply understand the power of deep focus, and they design their life around protecting it. One of the most powerful lessons from this book is that focus is not something you magically have. Focus is something you train, just like muscles. If you never train your attention, it becomes weak. But if you intentionally practice focusing deeply every day, even for short periods, your brain slowly becomes stronger. You start being able to concentrate longer. You start thinking more clearly. You start producing better work. And that change doesn't just affect your productivity. It affects your confidence. Because when you can trust your mind to stay focused, you feel more in control of your life. The book also challenges the idea of multitasking. We often feel proud of multitasking, but science shows that multitasking actually makes us slower, less accurate, and more mentally exhausted. Every time you switch tasks, your brain pays a cost. You lose clarity. You lose momentum. You lose depth. Deep work, on the other hand, allows you to enter a state where your mind is fully immersed. That's where real creativity and real quality come from. Another important point the book makes is about boredom. Today we are scared of boredom. The moment we feel bored, we grab our phone. We open an app. We distract ourselves. But Cal Newport argues that boredom is actually important. If you never allow your mind to be bored, you never allow it to think deeply. You never allow it to wander, reflect, and process ideas. Training yourself to sit with boredom without reaching for your phone is actually a powerful exercise for building focus. What I personally loved about this book is that it doesn't just explain the problem. It also gives practical ideas on how to build a deep work lifestyle. Things like setting clear time blocks for focused work, reducing social media usage, creating rituals before working, setting boundaries with distractions, and respecting your attention as something valuable. It's not about becoming extreme or deleting everything. It's about becoming intentional. The book made me reflect on how much time we waste without realizing it. Not just time, but mental energy. Every notification steals a little bit of your focus. Every unnecessary scroll session steals a little bit of your clarity. And when you add it all up over months and years, it becomes a massive loss. This book makes you realize that your attention is one of your most valuable assets, and you should protect it like your future depends on it. Because honestly, it does. By the time you finish this book, you start seeing the world differently. You start noticing how distracted people are. You start noticing how often you yourself try to escape focus. And slowly you begin to crave depth. You begin to enjoy silence. You begin to value uninterrupted time. And that shift is powerful. Deep Work is not just a book about productivity. It's a book about reclaiming your mind in a world that constantly tries to steal your attention. It's about choosing depth in a shallow world. And that message feels more important today than ever before. If you are a student who struggles to study, a creator who struggles to focus, a professional who feels busy but unfulfilled, or simply someone who feels mentally scattered all the time, this book can genuinely change the way you work and think. It doesn't make you perfect, but it makes you aware, and awareness is always the first step to real change.